Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the European crossover webinar. And we are still seeing a relatively quiet session, at least in indices, and we haven't moved very far as we are above or ahead of Jackson Hole. Crude has also still maintained its move up into this area here. Let's go move in a little bit closer here on the 2-hour chart. You can see we did make it just about right to the 50%, pared back a little bit. Right at $67, we kind of moved back up. We do have data this morning that won't be till 10:30 Eastern. We'll take a look here on the S&Ps. Same thing here. They remain very close to their highs ahead of Jackson Hole. And take a look at gold. Finally started to pull back a little bit. I think we did have 1812 is our resistance. And I'm surprised you would have thought we might have rolled from here, but we did finally make it up to around the 1812 area, which has been a key level for us before, prior to that 1818. But 1812 is always an area that they would bounce off of, and certainly they did. They finally did go on and pull back a little bit. And with that, we'll move into FX. That little move or counter move that we saw previously in euros kind of pull back just a little bit, not a whole lot, but pull back. We'll go on and just get into the bias chart. Right now, keeping an eye on crude. We're just not moving very much at indices, and I didn't expect us to move much. Actually thought about even taking this week off ahead of Jackson Hole. Just really didn't expect any movement. So take a look at the FX. We were looking for a move to 1768. Looks like they made it right to 1764. So pretty much close right to where we're at. I really don't see any changes here, so we'll stick with this 1768. As I mentioned, looks like the high was right there at 64, so we came and just missed this off by 4 pips. I still like the 1707. I think we're just kind of trapped in here until we get past Jackson Hole. So with that, we're just going to move into the cable. Same thing here with cable. We're trading pretty quiet. We had 37.59 for our resistance. High for the move was 37.49. So it's still a little ways off, but I still like that 37.59. I guess it wasn't too far off, only off by 10 pips. But once again, we're trading in a relatively quiet range. Support we have for 36.76. I still like that on a pullback, 36.76. So obviously no changes there. And I'm just not expecting a lot of movement ahead of Jackson Hole. With that, we'll move into the Aussie Dollar. We had 72.59 as resistance. It did make it up to 72.69. So this is still holding overall. Currently we're at 72.47. So it did make it, same thing. Well, 10 pips at variation. Actually came right to that rebound area, which was 68. But there's our 72.59. Same thing here. I just don't see a big much of a difference here. Maybe they could make a run up here, which would be that low here, which is 72.88. Maybe they can generate a little bit more short covering, so we'll give it a little bit benefit of the doubt here. And then take a look at, let's see whether, yeah, there's that 71.80. I like that. If we, well, it's still a ways off. We can go right there, 71.85. So just move it up just a tad bit. And into the dollar yen, we've just really been stuck. We're just not going anywhere. You can see that we're just trapped in this tight range. So no changes here on the dollar yen, 92, a 924. And the low move yesterday was 940. And the up move, if we get up there, 1022, and that's almost feels like that's the upper regions at this point. But that would be, and really a couple of days ago, or a couple of days prior, we did make it up to 1013. So we'll keep that 1022. And with that, we'll move into the cash dollar index. Trading, look at how quiet it is right now. I mean, it's just not even moving. We had 92.91. The low yesterday was 92.80, so up by 10. Can they work a little bit lower? Yeah, not really much, I don't think. If you go with this little low here. We'll give it to 76. We'll stay with this 57. And moving on to Bitcoin. We had 50,676. High from a couple of days back was 585. Finally started to weaken just a little. I wouldn't even weaken, but just lose a little bit of its big steam. Right here, that level is going to be the resistance now. It's going to be 49,235. Obviously still bullish. And on the downside, it's going back here. I know they bounced a little bit off 47,500, but I think we can pull back. Well, this is a huge level. Let's push this in for the 2-hour chart. It's going to be right there. 47,183. And to the S&Ps, we're taking a little bit of a pause here, but still the door's open for us to come up here to 4503 and just had a Jackson Hole. Probably no reason to go on and change that. Keep it there, and on a pullback, at least on the initial support, 4466. Same thing here. No real change here. And then moving on to the Nasdaq. As I said, these markets are just relatively quiet ahead of Jackson Hole. We'll try to push up a little bit further, and we've got 15,445, which is going to be key. Big 161% there. If we pull this back, you can see right there, coming up with the 15,445, which is the most recent high and low. And then for support, 15,271. And we didn't barely even pull back yesterday. Stayed above it, that 300 area. Low was 15,310. And moving into gold, we did have 1812 yesterday for the high. Let's see, and the high was 1812.2. Pretty good little area though. We've had reactions to that 1812 in the past. So good area here. If someone was long, that was a good area here to go and take a decent little chunk off. Unless you really think this market's going to move much higher. It has been a heck of a rebound from those lows, those spike lows we saw a couple of Sundays back, but still nonetheless, we would have to get above 1838 on a daily close to really get momentum back going higher. Just don't really see that here. Resistance now. It'd be 1805. With support now at 17. Let's just call it 1788. And now the crude oil. Had a pretty good run in crude oil. Actually, quite the prolific run. Look at this bounce back. I mean, after that fall, and we fell with the $61 handle, and then we summarily going and rally all the way back $6. I mean, that is a huge move, from those lows, and that actually took us 50% back. We pulled back. I think the low overnight would have been like 67.02. I think we are a bit overdone. We do have some key data. Doesn't mean we can't push up in here, but I just think that it's going to be tough for the market to go on and push considerably higher than where we're at right now. This is a pretty key area here, 67.95. Let me go and try and squeeze a little bit further. $68.09 on the upside. Support, we look on here. It looks right here, they had look at the most volume for the entire week. And this, I think, is they're taking profit around or decent amount here, right? That 50%. Looking for actually, you see right there at 65.73, but look at this close here at 65.54, and look at the amount of volume. Prior to what we saw up in here, the amount on this pullback, which is closer to 50%, the key volume had been right here at 66.57 on a pullback. We're seeing this 66.15. I just think it's more vulnerable than just right here, 66.46. Try and look at the RTH. Let's go right there with 66.30. So there we have it. And we'll take a look also if we can see anything closer on here. There's 66.52, which would be key. To me, this is the only interesting market right now with indices so dead. 66.52, a little bit of an overshoot. The high right there on that move is 66.26, actually 66.28. So the 66.30 makes the most sense. If we do get that pullback, and like I said, it's already had a pretty solid run. So in a very short amount of time, rather quickly, and then you can see the amount of volume that's gone off here. So with that, that'll be it. Like I said, we just don't have a whole lot to go with. Looking out for data this morning. Um, 20 minutes ago, we did have German business expectations. Those came at 97.5. Previous was 101, so it's a little bit of a dip. Current assessment was 101.4. Previous was 100. And then coming to the States, we do have durable goods at 8:30 Eastern. And then Canadian wholesales at 8:30 Eastern. And then we have crude oil inventories at 10:30 Eastern. And like I said, that'll be it. We're just trading very, very quiet ahead of Jackson Hole. So I'll get this posted in the room. And thanks for joining us here on the European Crossover webinar. Jaime wants to know about Kiwi versus the dollar, support resistance. We can take a look at that. Hello, DK. It's good to see you in the room. Yeah, I haven't looked at New Zealand dollar in a long time, so I'll take a look at this. Hold on. So we broke that area. I had a pretty good key area here. Yeah, right there. Yep, a nice rebound. Right at 66.52. So we rebounded to 66.52, a little bit of bounce. We are seeing some of these currencies get a little bit of an oversold bounce. Doesn't mean we can't squeeze a little bit. They may goose the stops. So if you can see, look at all the amount of volume that's going on in this range in here. So the next area here, if they want to squeeze, goose them a little bit, would be up to 69.85 right now. But you're right, we are into which was support before, now it becomes resistance. Would be 69.83 the next level. But you can see there's a lot of volume in between here. So yeah, this first level of resistance here, they may try and goose the stops a little bit further, take this high up, but I would look for some decent amount of resistance coming in at 83. So with that, we'll call it a day, and thanks for joining us here on the webinar.